So you want to learn how to do that? Of course you do. Otherwise you probably would have clicked on this video. Unless you are a fan of my shining personality and just want to hear me speak, which is also a valid reason to watch. I'm not judging. And this video is the perfect place to start. Continue, or finish your Bonnie journey, no matter where you are. So sit down, grab your fent lace candies, and hold your crash test W close, and enjoy this guide video on how to play the most adorable brawler in the game. Now, quick side note that this video probably would have gotten out like a million years sooner, or my stupid ass accidentally deleted the whole thing mid-edit. And maybe this was a good thing because even though it wasn't finished, it was already an absurdly long video. And this video will hopefully be a lot more condensed and not ask you to give up more than 5 seconds of your most likely cooked attention span.
It's Glendale Dingle here.
So first question, why should I play Bonnie? Why should I invest God knows how many coins and power points into this brawler? Well, gosh dilly darn, I'll tell ya. Bonnie is a very well kit. Huh? What's that? Stop doing the voice. Oh, damn it, fine. Bonnie is a very well equipped brawler, having lots of tools to her advantage and being a good brawler after so long in the deepest, darkest, fiery pits of hell. Also known as California, or F tier. Either one works. She's a combination of different playstyles, mainly being a sniper-assassin hybrid, so to any assassin mains out there who want to break out of their auto-aim spam hell and get into a half auto-aim spam limbo, Bonnie is a very good transition. She's not as difficult as, say, Piper or Bell, but is still rewarding sniper nonetheless. Bonnie is an epic marksman. Massive asterisk on that, I'll explain in a second. With a long range of 8 tiles, a high health of 9600, a slow reload speed, and a very slow movement speed. Bonnie's basic attack, Loose Tooth, has 1 ammo bar compared to the usual 3, similar to B, and shoots a tooth almost bigger than your father's bald cranium at a slow-ish projectile speed. She has a default supercharge rate of 4 shots, which, combined with good aim and the fact that her attack is wider than the state of Alaska, means you will get a shit ton of supers, especially with an unlockable later that gives her even more super. Her super, speaking of which, Star Launcher, kabooms Bonnie out of her cannon and basically turns her into the toddler equivalent of an ICBM. She flies over terrain with a default range of about 6.5 tiles with a big, girthy circle that upon impact deals 2000 damage at the end. Anyway, now that she's accidentally caused mutually assured destruction after the Chinese mistook her for a nuclear warhead, she is in her baby, or Bonnie form. Now I'm going to mention that her sniper form is called Clyde for future reference, so that's who Clyde is. In her Bonnie form, her base health is reduced from 9600 to a measly 6000. In addition, her attack switches from a girthy 8-tire cannonball to a new base attack, Bomber Jacket. How an 8-year-old managed to obtain unlicensed explosives, I have no idea, but I'm not going to ask questions. Bomber Jacket is a tight cone that has a 4-ish, 5 tile range. It spits out 3 small teeth from left to right similar to bow that deal 1160 damage each, allowing for a near instantaneous 3480 damage per ammo. So, taking 3480 times 3 gives us 10440 damage. Add an extra 2000 for impact and Bonnie can shit out 12440 damage in about 1 second. Now while this number is impressive, this is under the assumption that you can hit all 9 bombs and the impact, and your enemy can't shit out 6000 damage before you can kill them. To finish up this segment, we have Bonnie's method of returning to base form. Upon landing, your supercharge button is near instantly charged, ready to be pressed at a moment's notice. This allows Bonnie to bend the matrix and form Clyde out of thin air for her to mount and continue terrorizing the public in. Now comes the part you probably came for, her build. When it comes to brawlers and their builds, the player base really shows their lack of wanting to experiment and test things out, and instead go with the popular opinion. Which, with how scarce coins are these days, I can't say I blame you. So let's start with our best build, shall we? On screen I have the optimal build for body, and I'm going to cover each part in somewhat depth here. Starting with our hypercharge, Matt Daredevil gives Bonnie a much needed 25% speed bonus, as well as a 25% damage boost and a 5% damage resistance. Also, I forgot to mention that her hypercharge stuns upon both takeoff and landing. Not sure how I missed this in the script. Then again, I have fucking dementia or some shit like that. Dr. Hubert Farnsworth over here. So, yeah, stuns on takeoff and landing. And it also spits out teeth that do like 300 damage on impact, but that basically does nothing, so you don't have to act like it exists. The charge rate is about 9 hits, which means you'll get it once every 3 supers, excluding baby Bonnie damage. Her gadgets, Sugar Rust and Crash Test, give a 30% increase in speed and reload speed in Clyde for 5 seconds, and make baby Bonnie dash forward and deal 23 to 20 damage respectively. The better option here is Sugar Rush by Bio. However, Crash Test is slightly more fun and can have some niche use cases. Her star powers are much more cut and dry, however. Her first star power, Black Powder, increases your super range by 36%, making the range go from 6 2/3 tiles to 9.5. Her other star power, Wisdom Tooth, makes her main attack split off and supposedly deal 25% extra damage. Granted, this star power doesn't exactly work as intended with how the tooth splits, and on top of that, having an increased super range is so much more valuable. So, go with Black Powder. Her best gear to equip is the Supercharge gear, however, because that makes your supercharge rate go from 4 to 3 hits. This is almost absolutely necessary, as Bonnie's slow-ass reload speed makes this gaining your super so much easier. As for the other gear, they all have good use cases except for gadget cooldown, but my personal preference is damage, since you're going to probably be low health a lot. However, health is also a really good option. Now let's cover her matchups. This was originally a 10-minute segment by itself, however I'm going to do my best to condense it down for you. The best way I can think of is a chart. On this chart, I have how well Bonnie does into each class. She is an excellent matchup into throwers and most supports, as they usually don't have the self-defense capabilities to defend themselves, nor the health to survive a direct encounter. She is a good matchup into snipers similarly, because they all have low health, but unlike supports and throwers, many of them still have escape or self-defense tools to deal with you, such as jumps or knockbacks. Granted, you can still win the massive majority of the time, but be on the lookout. She has an okay matchup versus actual controllers, fuck off Griff, and tanks due to the fact that the actual controllers, such as Jessie, can't burst her down enough before they die. However, they do sometimes have ways to deal with you, such as like stuns, turrets, etc. Tanks absolutely demolish you up close in both forms. However, you can usually win against a tank if you just poke them down from long range to low health instead of immediately suiciding at them off rip. Assassins and damage dealers, this is where you come in, Griff and Maisie, are a no-go. While you can usually poke damage dealers at range, most of them can poke back, so it's usually not worth the fight. And if you super them, you best be ready for the respawn queue. Assassins are your worst matchup by far, and a lot of them have a dive or a jump or self-heal to deal with you in both forms, and will usually shred you before you even register what the fuck happened. Granted, it is possible to take down assassins in your baby Bonnie form right on impact, but there's still a decent chance you lose. So, I don't recommend. Now, if you use her hypercharge, the stun, You can usually deal with these tanks and assassins, the damage dealers, before they have a chance to deal with you. However, with base super, you're not winning that fight. Her best game mode is easily knockout. Her being a sniper assassin hybrid into the many other snipers and a defenseless Mr. Penis is a dream come true, and she thrives here. Similarly, Bonnie is good for bounty, not as goody, because enemies respawn and can kill you while you can't kill them. Heist is also excellent due to the amount of damage you fart out, especially onto stationary objects. In addition, lots of squishy snipers and controllers are played here as well, letting Bonnie rack up quite the stats. Brawl Ball, she is alright, due to the fact that you can do kind of well into any throws that might be picked. Triple dribble. And in Baby Born, she gets a super kick once every second due to how her supercharge rate goes in baby form. Hot Zone is probably her worst game mode since most of the maps are very close except for Ring of Fire. And Showdown, while she is good with power Q buffs, she struggles to open boxes quickly. Her playstyle is very simple once you learn it. Just hit shots and super the correct targets. What are correct targets? I'll explain that once I finish up here. You should always check grass you're about to go into. Well, that is a good rule of thumb in Brawl Stars in general, especially with Bon, because she has no way of defending herself up close. Do your best to conserve ammo in Baby Bonnie, because she has an insanely slow reload speed, even slower than Clyde. So throwing out all 3 shots off rip, while usually we'll get a kill done, if you miss one of them, you might not survive that encounter. Okay. Super incorrect targets. Always consider your matchup first, and then run a mental checklist before you super. Are they A, below 50% health, or 6,000, which is a good mark if you can't do that math. B, do they have any self-defense tools currently ready? Such as, does Piper have super? Is Brock's jump gadget on cooldown? And C, is it a singular target? You should never jump onto a crowd with Bonnie unless you know you can successfully 2 or 3v1 without hyper. If you have hyper, then, well, go crazy, I guess. So there you have it, an in-depth guide on the only brawler you'll ever want or need. The brawler that deserves all the love, attention, money, positions of power, sacrifices, and monuments the world has to offer. I would summarize the whole video here, but what's the point? You should have been listening with the whole time, you little goldfish ass attention span, you. I'll try to see if I can figure out how to add chapters to this video so you can skip back to the sections that you might have missed, or not have heard clearly the first time around. But on a side note, what were you doing that was so important that you couldn't pay attention to the video, huh? Clapping cheeks? Taxes? Caring for your real-life children? Fool. None of these things matter anymore. You are one of us now. Follower of Bonnie. A worshipper of Bonnie. Part of Bonnie herself. You need nothing else. You need no one else. Forfeit your mortal possessions, your mortal pleasures. Your only purpose now is to appease Bonnie. You are one of us now. One of us now.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.